In the 2015 movie titled Mortdecai, an art thief who had lost everything said to his wife,
"We may be flat broke, my darling, but we are not desperate."
2,000 years earlier, Jesus said, "Whoever looks lustfully at a woman has already committed adultery with her in his heart." Does this mean that if you think of sinning, then you have sinned? What did Jesus say about sin? And what has the words of Jesus got to do with the 2015 movie titled Mortdecai? The answer will surprise you. Hear Jesus. Why is getting rich so important to you? It shows where your heart is. And how did your heart become that way? Through your eyes. The eyes are the window of the body. Good windows let in light, but bad windows leave the body dark. We know the light a body has received by its actions. A good body will do good things, while a bad body will do bad. Know that anybody that does not produce good fruit will be thrown into the fire. Knowing this, follow me, for I am the light of the world, and anyone who follows me shall not walk in darkness. In fact, you are already clean because of the words which I've spoken to you. We will summarize what Jesus says in 2 sentences. 1. Sin happens long before the act. 2. Focus your heart on Jesus, and you will have no problem with sin. What has all this got to do with the 2015 movie titled Mortdecai? Well, in the movie, an art thief who just lost everything said to his wife,
"We may be flat broke, my darling, but we are not desperate."
He said this with a sparkle in his eyes, at a time most people, indeed many Christians, would have been heavy with despair. What knowledge prevented Mortdecai from being affected by such a negative situation? What knowledge causes you to be sad in some situations? What knowledge makes you sin in some situations? Whatever knowledge it is, it was settled in your heart before you acted. This is what Jesus meant when he used the word already. Whoever looks lustfully at a woman has already. What has already happened? Has already committed adultery with her. And where did it already happen? In his heart. If the loss of a large sum of money moves you or causes you to respond with worry or fear, then under the right circumstances, you will steal money. Stealing is not the root of the sin. The root of the sin is the fact that money has a hold on you. Here's the thing. It is not always obvious when the love of money creeps into your heart. It is not always obvious when a slightly different definition of sex creeps into your heart. It is not always obvious when trust in self creeps in. For example, in the case of money, it could start with you idolizing success as defined by the world. You hold worldly success higher than godly success. If you accept information from the world without filter, then you, like the world, will hold worldly success high. If this is the case, then given the right time and circumstances, you will produce bad fruit, like deception or stealing. Simply put, when you want to stop acting in some way, start by changing the content of your heart. Again, when you want to stop acting in some way, start by changing the content of your heart. With this knowledge, you need to examine your heart and pull down every thought, opinion, or argument, raised high and raised against the knowledge of Christ. Then you will be free to do good things. How does one pull down thoughts which are raised against the knowledge of Christ? Here is how. Jesus referred to clear eyes as being single. This means having a single focus, and that focus should be the right one. Remember, eyes are windows, and they should be focused on letting in light. Jesus is the light. Focus on Jesus. This is one thing you must do by yourself, because God gave you free will to choose whether to let in the light or not. When you let in the light, that is Jesus, will cleanse your heart. Simply put, study Jesus, live what you studied, repeat, and your heart will be clean. Once your heart is clean, you will not sin. Finally, brothers and sisters, even if you have failed countless times, do not be afraid. Be comforted by the truth that God answered the question of sin. Also know that God's answer, Jesus, is stronger than anyone's questionable actions. This comfort and its hope is what you need to keep your focus on Jesus. Shalom.